you know, embarking on a new fitness program, getting stronger at any age is impressive. But to start from scratch at age 70, well, this is a whole nother level of cool. Hey gang, welcome back to Mark's 60 Plus Fitness Journey. Yeah, I have the highest level of admiration for anyone that undertakes a new fitness program from scratch. It's a truly daunting and somewhat scary undertaking, as many of you can attest. But it's particularly awesome at age 69 or 70. That's a whole nother level. As I said, a whole nother level of cool in my book. So that's what Mr. Howard has done here, and I'm truly impressed with this. My hat's off to him. And today was a continuation of his journey. Today was another squat and deadlift session. I think this is squat session 3, deadlift session 4, and he's making great progress. So let's hop in the gym and I'll show you what he was up to, and we'll talk about some of the points that were good, and we'll talk about some of the points we need to improve on. It's all good. So let's hit the gym and show you what he was up to. Let's go do it. Alrighty, here we are in the gym, as promised, with Howard for his latest squat and deadlift session. Now, there are a few things I want to point out here, but before I do, I just want to say that Howard is making amazing progress. I believe this is his third actual squat session. He may have done 4 sessions of deadlifts. This may be his third squat session, no more than that. We're using the safety squat bar because Howard's left shoulder lacks some mobility, so this is the best option. I think it's a great option. The safety squat bar is every bit as effective, I believe, as the barbell in performing and getting the benefits out of squats. So this is set 1, and the first thing I want to point out is that if one is new to certain movement patterns, particularly later in life, say one has led a sedentary lifestyle and hasn't done a lot of physical activity, squat movement pattern and a deadlift movement pattern for that matter is a difficult thing to get comfortable with and pull off. There's a range of motion issue, there's the strength issue, there's the comfort with the movement issue, and I think that's one thing that Howard's made pretty good strides in here already. His range of motion is good, his depth here is good, particularly for a third squat session at the age of 70. I think he's doing great. There are a couple of things I want to improve on for him, and particularly in the range of his shoes. He's promised to raise his commitment level a notch by ordering a pair of squat/weightlifting shoes. I think that's going to help tremendously, particularly with the range of motion around his ankles and Achilles tendons. The platform on the squat shoes helps with that quite a bit. And here is another thing we want to improve on next session. Upon further review, watching videos, that's why it's good to video workouts. I think you see things you might not see right there on the scene. But I want to move his feet out a little wider. I think he needs to have his feet out a little closer to shoulder width. And not much, just a little bit. He hasn't complained of any knee pain or anything at this point, so I think we're still good. But I think he'd be better served with a little wider stance and weightlifting shoes, and once he gets a little bit more mobility or flexibility in his ankles and Achilles tendon area, I think these squats are going to take off like crazy. And also, one thing I want to point out too, before I forget, is we definitely lowered the weight quite a bit in this latest squat session. I think we had the weight elevated to a point where we were focusing on moving the weight rather than the technique and the form. So I think it's important early on in the first few weeks to focus on the technique and the form, which we're still learning, but I think that's important initially. So lower the weight and work on the form. Now here we are in his deadlift portion of today's workout. And another thing to mention here too is I have Howard doing a progressive overload approach using 3 sets of 7 reps. We may move that back to 3 sets of 5 reps. We're definitely going to move it down to 5 reps once it gets a little more comfortable. I just want to keep it at 7 reps for a little while to get a little bit more fitness in. Maybe work on a little bit more of the hypertrophy. So we're sticking with 3 sets of 7 reps at the moment. The progressive overload, meaning once he's successfully able to do 3 sets of 7 reps, in this case, we're going to go up 5 pounds. Now this first working set of deadlifts here was a little glitchy, a little lack of continuity there, but he picked it up a bit on the subsequent 2 sets you'll see here. Just wanted him to focus on getting his setup right, keeping his back neutral, flat, and his head up. All these things, and I say all these things, there's not that many things to remember, but if it's new, it's a few too many things to remember at one time, but it's going to become muscle memory. And the second set I think is much better. He's keeping the bar closer to his body. He's using a double overhand grip too. He says that works fine for him, so we'll stick with that too for a little while. But this was a good session. A good 3 sets of squats, a good 3 sets of deadlifts, and we did follow up with some leg presses too, by the way, and some leg extensions. 1 set of leg presses and 1 set of leg extensions. But this was an excellent workout for Howard, and I will say I'm proud of him. He's making great progress. He's very enthusiastic about this. He's seeing results, which feeds upon itself, and he's a hoot to work out with too. So there you go, Howard's latest squat and deadlift session, and I'd like to thank you for hanging out with us. Alrighty, there you have it. Another fine session for Mr. Howard. A squat and deadlift day, making great progress. Much more to follow on this. And like I've said before, it's never too late, and you are never too old to be the strongest and healthiest you can be. And let's use Howard as an example. Good work, Howard. Much more to follow on this. I want to say thank you very much, each and every one of you, for taking time to hang out with us today. And if you do me one more favor, or maybe a couple more favors, hit that like button. Share this with your friends. And if you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It'd be awesome to have you with us. That's all I've got for today. So with that, I will say, until next time, go get 'em. Mark out.